I didn't know anything about the record until maybe the fourth quarter, and somebody told me, and I went up to Luke on the sidelines joking and said, "You want me to put you back in there?" And he just smiled, and we had a laugh about it. But Luke's a team player. I think somebody else told me about it, so we weren't about to put him back in, for that. But he's doing what he does best, and I'm really proud of him because, we challenged him a couple of weeks ago, significantly, and he's a competitor and he's really responded. So I'm really proud of him. He's come such a long way in his career, and he's had to change his game, even because of like some injuries he's dealt with, over the course of the year. He sat out a year, in 2022. So just really proud of him. He just keeps doing what he does. He's a glue guy, makes things happen. His voice out there. So. And I'm sure if you ask him, he would take zero credit, for any of those 7 goals. But really proud of him.
Coach, he had 7 against Binghamton as well, and I wonder if, as a former player, much like basketball, do shooters get in rhythm and become more confident as the game progresses?
They definitely get in rhythm, but what Luke's doing is, that's established Monday through Friday. His work ethic, he's out here in the mornings shooting. He does individual sessions with Coach McGuire. They've got a great relationship. You see those guys, working on shooting. I mean, yesterday morning I looked out the window and, Luke's getting shots with Dalton and some freshmen and, Coach Mack, and practice is still like an hour from starting. And I think that just speaks to like he wants to be really good at what he does, and he understands that's his role in our offense. So, kudos to him. But again, it's really developed Monday through Friday.
Could you speak to the state of the Spiders, and if you think the ceiling remains high for this group as it moves more into conference play?
Yeah, I think we're still, getting better. And that's just been the goal from the start. The early season gave us a chance to really figure out, or the early season, the first half of the season gave us a chance to figure out like who we are, what we're going to be good at against other teams, what other teams are going to try to take away, how we're going to have to adjust to those things. And there were some successes and fails in figuring that out. But we just keep working. We just keep focused. We remain focused on just getting better. And I think we've gotten better the last 2 weeks, and we got to just keep getting better as we continue. So I felt like we had a bit of a breakthrough on Thursday this week in a couple areas, and I think those showed today.
Coach, a couple dozen of your players had shaved heads there for a while as they supported this cause that raised a lot of money. I wonder if you could share your thoughts on that and perhaps what it says about those guys.
I think it's just a really selfless group. One guy was behind the cause, and it just spread amongst the locker room. And every day 2 or 3 more guys would come in, with buzz cuts. At first, I didn't really think anything of it, and then I was like, "Oh, geez, what's going on here?" So I'm just proud of those guys. They are thoughtful and selfless, and just really, great. I've got a lot of pride in. The fact that I'm the head coach of those guys. So, but credit to the assistant coaches for recruiting those guys, and just the locker room we have. That's the just the personality of the group.
Charlie Packard suggested that there is a sort of group within the group that organizes these sorts of things, and in terms of community service. What do you think of that?
I just think it's really mature, to be honest. I think back to when I was, their age, I probably wasn't spending as much time thinking about stuff like that. So the fact that, we've got guys in our locker room, Charlie's a freshman, and there's other, whether it's freshman or fifth years, thinking of that, again, I think it just speaks to the maturity and the young men that we have. And again, all that heavy lifting was done, by their moms and dads, before they got here. We're just lucky to have them. So, yeah, it's a special group, and, we're going to keep rolling here.
Thank you, Coach Giamatti.
Thanks, guys.
Just one question about what's coming up. I mean, your next 2 weeks are on the road. Biggest 2 road games of the season?
The next game is the biggest game always. Doesn't matter who you're playing or where you're playing it. We're just focused on what's next right now. We're just focused on Monday's practice and getting better. But, in conference play, you got to be dialed in, whether you're home or whether you're away. And, certainly every conference game is going to bring a new challenge. So yeah, we got to keep building here.
I wouldn't say I was hoping to get more involved. It was senior day today, so I really wanted a couple of the guys who work extremely hard on the offensive end, who don't always get to play. I wanted to get those guys in. So, I mean, it could have been cool to get an eighth, but it's not something I was really thinking about at all.
When the music is played after one of your goals, I noticed it's Warren Zevon.
Yeah.
Is that your choice? And that's an interesting choice from the 70s.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my dad's favorite songs, and we played it on so many road trips growing up. And my little cousins, they love to howl, and like during the song, Warren goes, "Ow!"
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So that's probably why I have it. I love the song too.
Could you speak to the state of the Spiders and where you think you are now in the season and what's to come?
I think we're still growing as a team. I think the last couple of weeks we've really focused on getting back to some things as a team and buttoning up our culture as a team, and I think we're on the way. Last week was a step in the right direction. Today, another step in the right direction, and next week's going to be a big time test on the road against High Point. So we got to get prepared all week and have a great week of practice.
Thank you from me, Luke. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The way this season is set up, it's essentially two seasons, an out-of-conference season and an in-conference season, and you still have everything to play for, correct?
Yeah, Coach really preaches that. We didn't exactly do what we wanted to do with our out-of-conference schedule, but he said when conference was starting, it's a whole new season, and we're treating every week like it's a playoff game, win or go home. So we're just hoping to get better and peak at the right time, hopefully come May.
You've got two on the road now, arguably the two biggest road games of the season. First one against High Point, which may be your arch rival in this league. Just talk about what's at stake in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think everything for our season's at stake the next 3 weeks. Especially playing on the road, we got to be really buttoned up, and we gotta come in Monday, put Hobart's win on the back burner, and think about trying to get better. And that starts with doing extra work, doing extra film, all that kind of stuff to make sure we can set ourselves up well, hopefully to make the A10 tournament, and then hopefully again to end up making the NCAA tournament.